But for real, I saw that movie Hereditary, starring Toni Collette, I don't know, and I hated it so much, I almost blacked out from anger. I haven't been that angry in a movie theater since The Lost World Jurassic Park 2, when that little girl did gymnastics to get away from the dinosaur. I'll try to break it all down in this week's movie review. Hereditary is about a grandmother that dies, and her daughter is kind of going crazy, and then her daughter starts cutting the heads off of birds and stuff, and the son, he's real sad, and then it kind of doesn't make sense for a while. Then you find out that it's all because everybody's getting all weird because I don't know, behind the scenes they're well, I can't really tell you anymore until I give you the spoiler alert. So here, spoiler alert, all this weird stuff's happening because of a big old naked cult. My biggest problem with Hereditary is that its ending betrays the film that preceded it. Meaning, you watch the whole movie thinking, maybe this whole film's a metaphor for mental illness, or it's a horror film that dives deep into the terrors of grief and loss and how that can destroy a family. But then in the end, the movie's like, nah, that's a hard fucking no. This movie's about the 8th king of hell and all the naked old people that pray to him. And it's not like I shouldn't love a movie about the 8th king of hell and all the naked old people that pray to him. In fact, that should be my favorite movie. It's that, this movie doesn't foreshadow that ending at all. It just kind of happens after you've lived through a bunch of scenes reflecting real-world violence, death, grief, and suffering. You're slam-jammed into a bullshit Paranormal Activity 3 ending that doesn't make good on those themes or even tries to give a fuck about those themes. It would be like The Exorcist ending like Men in Black, where you pull out and you realize y'all are just inside a giant marble on an alien's playground. Or Made in Manhattan ending like The Sixth Sense, and you realize J-Lo's been dead all along. Some people would say the ending was foreshadowed, because there's some necklaces, and some weird symbols, and some writing on the wall. But how the fuck are we supposed to know what that bullshit means? I didn't write the screenplay, so those are just bullshit words and symbols that make no goddamn sense. That would be like at the end of this vlog, me saying, guess what, y'all? I've been a high-ranking king ghoul this entire time. Y'all didn't know that? It was foreshadowed. And y'all would be like, fuck you. How was it foreshadowed that you were a high-ranking king ghoul? I didn't know you were a high-ranking king ghoul. That symbol back there, it means I'm a high-ranking king ghoul. Foreshadowed. Don't get me wrong, Toni Collette was the master of all emotions. She fucking slayed. And the kid from Jumanji was Torp Norch. He was even better in this than he was in Jumanji, which is hard, because in Jumanji, he was the fucking beast. But I think people are getting confused. I don't know. A good performance does not a good movie make. There's a lot of other shit that goes into it. Like making it all make sense narratively in a way that doesn't feel like lazy cheating. People will be like, you didn't like Hereditary? You must not like Toni Collette. You didn't think she did a good job? But to me, that's like giving me a shit sandwich that also has ham on it and wondering why I don't like the tasty ham sandwich. Do you not like ham? You must hate tasty ham sandwiches. No, I just don't like ham sandwiches that are also smeared with shit. That's what the ending to Hereditary does. Dumps a bunch of shit on it. Even though the ham, and the bread, and the mayonnaise, and the pickles were Torp Norch. I think if it wasn't for Toni Collette pouring her beautiful soul into this movie, people would see it for the B-level tropey trash it is, but she's so goddamn perfect. People are getting tricked. Classic horror films that stand the test of time have endings that pay off the themes that were built up over the course of the film. The finale to The Exorcist cements the themes of faith and sacrifice. The ending of Rosemary's Baby lands so hard because it capitalizes on the themes of betrayal and vanity. Hereditary just ends with old people's balls. The trope of having naked old people stand in the woods and stare at you with no goddamn explanation is as tired a trope as spider walking on the ceiling. Once Toni Collette started spider walking on the ceiling, I knew we were in Trope City of tropes. And y'all, naked old people aren't inherently scary. The old naked lady in The Shining was scary because of the context. If any naked old person is scary, then I'm gonna make a killing when I release my first horror feature, Grandma's Taking a Bath. Bottom line, the ending to things matter. Imagine if Come Together just ended with 30 seconds of diarrhea sounds. And finally, Hereditary commits the cardinal sin of tropes, the box of secrets. Bad horror films rely on characters finding news articles, old photo albums, and missing film reels to complete their lazily written narrative. I'm looking at you, Sinister. And in Hereditary, Toni Collette finds a literal box of secrets at the end of the movie, filling in all the gaps the story had up to that point. The whole movie's like, do you know what's going on? Nah. Do you? Nah, not me. Spooky. Do you know what's going on? Nah, I don't know what's going on. Do you? I don't know. Do you know what's going on? Nah, I don't know. You know, Spooky, I don't know what's going on. Can you figure it out? I can't figure it out. Do you know what's, I don't know what's going on. Can you figure, what's this? A big old box of secrets. Oh, what's this? My mother used to be the leader of a satanic cult that worships the spirit of Payman, and Payman needs a male body to go into, so my son is being targeted, and cults and demons and naked people and spirits, and thanks, Book of Secrets! All in all, Hereditary is a regular old conventional horror movie, wearing a hipster art house jacket. Without Toni Collette, people would see it as a film of far lesser quality. If Toni Collette was in a remake of Sorority Babes at the Slime Bowl Bowl-orama, it would win a fucking Oscar! In summation, your realities didn't hold up, something was graphic and real world when you wanted it to have emotional weight, and then disconnected and dreamlike when that benefited you from the horror angle. Y'all showed the fucked up aftermath of a car crash involving a child, and act like you're gonna deal with the gravity and gut-wrenching devastation the characters experienced because of that loss. But then, you ditch investigating that for the King of Hell ending. So if all that shit was really happening, and it wasn't figurative, then where were the other real-world elements, like police and highway patrol, keeping those nasty naked cult people away from stealing heads off the side of the road? And why'd y'all spend so much time on the doll making and miniatures being created? Oh, I see, y'all were just getting high on symbolism and untethered motifs. Also, it was the same plot as The Witch. A sinister force calling upon a figure to fulfill their darker destiny while your narrative rides the line of poetic metaphor. This movie should have been called The Witch 2, Rise of the Demon Dude. You can't do a data dump at the end of the film and call it clever. The answers to those mysteries needed to be woven organically throughout the narrative, not found in a box of answers. At the end of the day, I'd give this movie absolutely no tiny whines. Because you exploited Toni Collette's performance in a movie that should have been about more than what it was about, your Paranormal Activity 3 ending was bullshit, old balls aren't that creepy, and this was the bordello blood of art house horror. It had too much in it that didn't add up. Demons, cults, seances, ghosts, hallucinations, dead kids. Why don't you just toss Angie Everhart in there as a vampire sex worker and call it a fucking day? And A24, y'all need to chill the fuck out with the hyperbole. Y'all market every movie like, it's the best, I've never seen a movie like this. It redefines the genre. This movie will knock your dick off and the dick will fly around the room and then come back and fuck you in the ear. Yeah. An AV Club, y'all need to chill the fuck out. You're on a hyperbole probation. Y'all were like, this movie reaches inside and pulls out your skeleton, and then your skeleton sits next to you in the movie theater the whole time, and you look over at it and you're like, oh, that's my fucking skeleton. And then you look up at the movie and you're like, this goddamn movie ripped my fucking skeleton out of my goddamn body. I'm shook to the motherfucking core. When in actuality, you could have just been like, yeah, it's okay. If movie's kind of okay, has some flaws, see it if you want to, or not. Most movies are just kind of okay, and this one's that way too. So, hyperbole.